Yes, well, welcome to Bartley and Barnes, episode number 15. Very sporadic, scattered episodes, but yes, we made it to episode 15. How are you doing, Mr. Keith Barnes?
Hanging in there, man. You know, like you said, the world is insane. It needs to go ahead and just end.
Yeah.
I posted, like, on Facebook. Maybe Thanos had the right idea.
I saw that. I saw that. I didn't know whether to like it or not because I'm like,
No.
I was like, are people gonna think that I agree with Thanos? But yeah. But it's funny that we wouldn't have to worry about those kind of things nowadays. It's I'm not gonna say who, but I've seen so many things where people are finding old text messages, old tweets of people saying something that was inappropriate like years ago, and it's like you can't even joke around with your friends anymore. Like, people are gonna find all your dirt and bring it up, so gotta be careful these days. But man, we are here to escape all that nonsense and just have some good discussion about the things that we love. We're gonna get into some cool stuff today. We're gonna talk what you challenged me to last episode, which was the Magic and Bird: A Courtship of Rivals documentary. We're gonna talk a little bit about the NBA return, but our main topic today is what we want to see creatively from the Snyder Cut. We talked a lot about the Snyder Cut in general, about what the announcement means and how it affects the DC Universe and Warner Bros. Plans, but we haven't really talked about what Zack Snyder's actually gonna do in the movie, like creatively with the characters and the story and the special effects, whatever the case may be. So we're going to get into that with the person we know most, I guess, enthusiastic about the situation, which is Gio Ramos. He will be joining us here soon. And
that's
then,
up for debate, though. That's been up for debate.
Yes, it has. We're still deciding on who's more of a DC fan, me or Gio. But we'll bring Gio in a little bit to talk about that in a second. According to him, it's not a competition. But real quick, I do want to talk. Oh, one thing. I want to talk about a couple things we've been watching. But one important thing, I finished The Office finally.
That's right, yes.
Finally finished The Office. And
all of it.
We did, a while ago, we did our top shows of all time. And it was in your list, top 10 list, right? I believe. Yeah. And that show and another show, like, you couldn't decide what was your favorite sitcom of all time, basically.
I think it was Scrubs.
Yeah, maybe. But I can't remember. How high did you have The Office? Just overall.
It was in my top 5. I know for sure.
That's crazy.
I can't remember where exactly.
And have you rewatched it, like, at all?
Not in its entirety, but I've been watching. So I listened to the Office Ladies podcast.
Oh, I want to check that out. With
Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey, who play Pam and Angela on the show. And they're going, like a lot of people are doing now. They're going through each episode one by one and talking about it. And it's really great. That's awesome. I highly recommend that.
Yeah,
I'll listen to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead. Keep talking.
I'll just listen to that, and then whichever episode they're talking about. They just finished, or they just started, season 3.
So, okay.
Certain episodes I'll listen to an episode of their thing, and I'll go and watch that episode. So I'm kind of in and out, and sort of rewatching it along with them.
Yeah. So, like most shows, The Office has its ups and downs.
Yes.
And I would say it just, for a while, it's just going up the whole time, and then it has a dip, and kind of just fluctuates from there. And you could probably guess where that dip is when Michael leaves. It is hard when Michael leaves.
It is.
But the thing is, you're still attached to all those characters, so like it's still entertaining in a way. It's
so yeah, they went through a few bosses. You could tell they were trying a few different things. I didn't really enjoy Will Ferrell that much on there.
No, and honestly, he wasn't even on it that long. It was
only a couple episodes, but
he got injured doing that, playing basketball, and
yes,
that was ridiculous.
I didn't mind. A lot of people couldn't stand
James Spader.
James Spader, yeah.
Oh, I loved him.
I thought he was really funny. Yeah,
he's hilarious.
I really did. I thought he was.
He was the best replacement
Robert
person that they brought in on the show.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mind Kathy Bates either. She was,
Oh yeah, she was, but she was never like working in the office.
She wouldn't. You're right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But I thought James Spader was really funny. But yeah, a lot of people really didn't like that. Didn't like him.
Oh, I loved him, Robert California, and
California.
He was so like mysterious. He was so cool though. Like
I don't understand the Black Eyed Peas. Like it's hip hop for people who don't like hip hop. It's pop for people who don't like pop.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Man. But I remember I told you when I first started watching The Office in season 1, I wouldn't say Michael is a likable character in season 1. If you remember, they didn't do that many episodes. It was a very short season.
No.
And you can tell there's a long time between season 1 and season 2 because they shot it and they didn't think it was going to turn into anything.
Yeah.
And even Steve Carell, he looks very different. In season 2, he lost weight and his hair is coming back. So he looks a lot different. And maybe it's just that Michael Scott is always inappropriate and racist and sexist. But when you first meet him, you're like, this guy's an a-hole. But then once you get to know him more, it's like you like him. But I love the Michael Scott character now.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's actually very deep in a way. And
he's very
some of the best. I still watch The Office when I just put it on when I go to bed. And I just love hearing Michael Scott talk to the camera. It's some of the best stuff. And I will say we could talk forever about The Office, but one of the best episodes for me and most insightful episodes on the Michael character for me was when he showed that video of him as a child on a kids TV show. Do you remember that episode?
I don't remember that.
So he is it's Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. And then and not Angela, but who's the redhead lady, the crazy drunk one?
Meredith.
Yeah, so Meredith brings her son, but it's Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, and he's like, "Hey kids, did you know I was on a children's TV show when I was younger?" And they show it, and they're asking him a question, and they're like, "Oh, if you had one wish, what would it be?" And he was like, "I wish I had a wife and 100 kids, so that way I could make them all be my friends, and nobody could say no to being my friend." And then it's like an awkward silence, and it's like so sad. And it's kind of a theme of his loneliness. Yeah,
exactly. So you feel really happy for him when he actually does. You meet.
Holly. I love Holly. I love them together. Like,
me too.
I couldn't name more than 5 on-screen relationships in movies or television that I actually enjoy watching and is believable, and they are one of them.
Oh, listen, this show has 2 of them because it's Jim and Pam.
Jim and Pam too is a good one, especially at first.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things they did. They rewrote the character of Michael from season 1. They rewrote him and made him a little bit more, like you said, a little more somewhat relatable.
Yeah,
and less unlikable. And then the showrunners, they decided they need to make the show right around before season 2. They're like, we need to make Jim and Pam their relationship the centerpiece of the show.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of just went from there. And the episode in season 2, the episode where Michael left, and he didn't tell anybody that he was leaving. He was moving to Colorado to live with Holly, and that scene, and it's one of the sweetest things there. He didn't tell anyone in the office that he was leaving. He didn't want them to make a big deal. He had a hard time with the goodbyes, and you saw at the end how he just told Jim finally, and Pam was out the whole episode trying to get stuff together.
Oh yeah.
And you see how when he was finally leaving, he took off his microphone and all this stuff, and was walking through the tarmac. And how Pam, can't you see her come running into the frame to say goodbye to him because he thought that she was going to miss him. Jenna Fisher was telling a story on the podcast how they didn't tell him. They didn't tell him that she was coming.
Oh, like on the show?
Yeah. He did not know that she was going to be there.
Oh, so he thought that his character wasn't going to be able to say bye to her.
Yeah, and he was just walking. He was actually just walking off. And the director, it was actually Paul Feig actually directed that episode. He had directed.
I did see his name pop up a few times. Yeah,
he directed a bunch of episodes. But yeah, he directed that episode. Yeah, he told her like just walk up to him, ask Jenna, and tell Steve how much you're gonna miss him. You know, so that's what she said to him. But yeah, they didn't tell him that he didn't know that she was going to be there and say anything. So when she runs up to him, he's genuinely like, "Oh my gosh, hey!"
Yeah, they have a really special relationship on the show as well. And like when she had the art show, and he was the only one who showed up from the office, things like that. And and when he leaves Dunder Mifflin, she goes with him too. Mm-hmm. Remember? Yeah. And her, Ryan, and
got a paper company.
Dude, look, we could talk more about The Office because there's so many great characters. Like Ryan and Kelly are ridiculous. Yeah. And who the hell is Creed? Creed is just the craziest character ever.
He's great. Yeah, I love
Meredith is crazy. Yeah. They're just all Angela. Like there's so many characters that I love. And look, I was one of those people that like The Office isn't that great, before I watched it. Yeah. Like I had seen episodes before, random episodes.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people, and I can't believe I love it. It's one of my favorite shows now. And like as soon as I finished the season finale, right away I watched episode 1 again. Because I was like, no, I'm not done with this show. I just watched it.
I did that exact same thing.
And then because
it was so on when I was watching.
It's still so far away from each other that like it's so long ago that you watched episode 1, so it's all good. But yes, I love The Office. There's so many great characters, so many more things I want to talk about, but we can't waste the whole show on that. But yeah, a couple other things I started watching. So I started watching Dexter, which is something that people had told me to watch for years. Have you ever seen it?
I have, yes.
You watched the whole series?
I watched the whole thing. But no, not the whole series, but I've in and out.
So I've heard like later seasons aren't as good and things like that. But season 1, dude, season 1, I was so hooked. Like the first episode, what happens in the first episode, how it ends, I'm hooked, and I watch that show every day. Like I can't wait to get home to watch it. I'm loving it. I started watching Community as well. Do you know what Community is?
Never. Yeah, I know it is. I've never watched it though.
I had heard about it, but I never watched it before. And it stars like Joel McHale. It has Gillian Jacobs, Allison Brie, Donald Glover. What's his name from the Vacation movies? The comedian from Saturday Night Live. Yeah, he's in it. So, little fun show. I started watching like the first 4 episodes. It's actually pretty funny. Like it's kind of in that similar like Office, Parks and Rec vein. It's not a mockumentary, but it kind of feels like that kind of show. So I recommend it if you're looking for a fun little comedy. But anything else you've been watching?
No, not as far as shows. Like I said, I need to pick up. We were both talking. I need to pick up on Better Call Saul. I've been hesitant to start watching anything else because I want to start watching that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So you haven't started yet?
No, I haven't started it yet. No.
Okay. We should start it like at the same time so we can maybe do like a review of it each episode or something. We can make it like a segment on our show, something like that. Cool. Well, let's get into the warm up. So normally we do like just a random sports topic or whatever's most relevant in sports going on right now. But since my homework assignment was to watch Magic and Bird, A Courtship of Rivals, we're just going to go ahead and place it right here in the sports section. And
well, let's amend that because slightly. So if you were watching our last episode, I assigned you to watch the movie Sunshine.
Oh, you're right. You are right. Correct.
And then a couple days later, and then in between, I saw that you got challenged on Apocalypse Now, and I don't want you to have to watch 2 movies, even though there was 2 weeks between our shows. But I figured coming off of The Last Dance, you probably enjoy, and you will love the movie Sunshine. But we'll get to that later. I figured you probably like this Magic and Bird doc better, so I changed that. I changed it to watch the Magic and Bird documentary on HBO.
Dude, thank you.
Yes.
Not that I'm not going to enjoy Sunshine. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But thank you. Because when I finished The Last Dance, I felt like something was missing in my life because
I knew this would be perfect.
That was such a crazy thing because we were all in quarantine, right, for 2 months or whatever, and The Last Dance was like the only thing to look forward to every week. And then I watched this documentary. I'm so glad I watched this documentary, Courtship of Rivals. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a basketball fan, if you like The Last Dance, whatever, watch this documentary. I knew a lot. I knew mostly everything. I knew a lot about Magic Johnson because he puts himself out there. You know his personality. He's on TV all the time. He's Magic Johnson. I did not know that much about Larry Bird.
Right.
I have a whole new perspective, new respect for Larry Bird.
Yeah.
And I always knew he was one of the greats. Like, no question about it. You have to look at his accolades, his championships, MVPs, stats, everything. But to get to know the kind of player he was and the kind of person he was is amazing.
One of the baddest dudes that ever step on an NBA court.
He was so his upbringing and everything was just so unique.
Yeah, right.
He's and he's a very tough player, and a player that, I mean, they talk about it, did not want to see a white boy balling in the NBA. All the players said, they even admitted, they were like, he can't play. Like, yeah. So I'm so grateful for that. And whatever their relationship is very special because how often do these guys, they play in college in the national championship, and then they're both rookies, and then they're both fighting for championships every year. Like, I don't know if there's been anything like that before.
And just the fact that one of them is on the Lakers, one of them's on the Celtics.
Exactly, like the two
already traditional rivals from the 50s and 60s.
It's almost like it was planned and everything. It's crazy. And I loved this documentary. It was so insightful. Like, I want to find every basketball documentary ever made and watch them all because I want to know more about other legendary players, to be honest. Because
I'll give you another one if you want.
Like, I only know, like, I grew up watching basketball in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. So, like, my kind of basketball knowledge sets in like around like 97 and on. And this is like right after their careers ended, in a way, a little bit after that. So this was, the Magic Johnson stuff was awesome too. But for me, what I took away is just learning about Larry Bird, because a lot of people, they know his name, they know he played for the Celtics, but a lot of people don't know a lot about him.
Right.
And I didn't know how closed off he was, because now he's, I forget, is he still president of the Pacers?
No. He actually, I'm not sure. I think he actually might be.
He coached the Pacers.
He coached for just 3 years, and that was it.
I always figured he was always so involved in everything, but he wasn't necessarily.
I think he still might be in their front office, actually. I thought he retired from that.
And now, like, I would say, like, Larry Bird now, right now, he seems very, like, confident because he knows he's a legend. But seeing how shy he was and how quiet he was growing up as a young man, I could see, like, who Larry Bird is now when I look at him as who he is now. So it was awesome, man.
Oh, and just knowing, and everybody will tell you, he was the biggest, one of the biggest trash talkers of all time. You wouldn't know it, like you said, because but anybody that played with or against him, he was. And he would go out, he would tell you what he was going to do. Like, he would come out of the huddle and tell the opposing player, whoever's guarding him, this is the play, what play they're about to do, and he would still do it. And
that's crazy.
Take a shot, But I thought, it was really great. Stuff about his dad, which was really obviously real sad.
Oh yeah.
Seeing it, like you said, how he came up. But the interesting thing for me in that doc was him talking about just why he is the way he is, just about race and stuff. Like, that stuff never mattered to me. How he said, his dad worked at, worked at the hotel or whatever, and he would play, some of the cooks and other, like, the help at the hotel were all mostly black, obviously, and they would go play basketball, and they would let him let him play with them. They're all older. He was, teenager at the time, 11, 12, 13 years old, and they're all older, playing at the basketball court, and they would let him play. And that's how he learned how to play, playing with those guys. And you could tell, seeing how he is, but that's just how he said he just never forgot that. And the other crazy thing about him and I love the story about how they became friends, how him and Magic actually became friends, shooting that commercial, that Converse commercial.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
That was a great story. But he ended his doggone career because he hurt his back repaving his mother's.
Oh, I know. So that's the crazy thing, how he would always do all his yard work and he would do all this physical labor by himself. And most superstars, famous people, do not do anything like that. So can you imagine if he didn't physically drain himself outside of the basketball court? He probably would have won another championship or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because this happened in like '86 or something like that.
He was still young for an NBA player.
Exactly right. He was never the same after that. Because even when I started getting into the NBA, him and Magic were both kind of at the end, of their careers. You could tell. But even so, I think they were still in their early 30s. Around that time. I mean, Bird. I know when Magic retired because of HIV.
That's crazy that.
32 or 33.
All these things, right? And then they both had to retire earlier than they should have.
Right.
As well.
Should have, exactly. Exactly. So, and I remember, for me, watching Larry Bird, I just remember him laying on the floor on the court, like I would see him on the bench laying on his stomach because of his back. He couldn't sit in chairs. So like I said, I caught him and McHale and all those guys at the end. But this is one of my probably for basketball documentaries. This was probably my favorite. Just kind of aside from The Last Dance, obviously, but there's another really great one I'll tell you about maybe for your next assignment. But, this was really good. I'm glad I knew you would.
It is such a fairy tale. This rivalry, it really is because I believe Magic Johnson, they won the championship his rookie year, right?
Yep.
And then Larry Bird wins the next year.
He won the NCAA title, beat Bird in the title game, and then won the NBA title the next year.
And then they played each other twice in the finals, which is crazy. It's so good. Again, just like The Last Dance, this documentary made me appreciate NBA so much more. I can't wait for basketball to come back. And speaking of that, a perfect segue. The NBA is returning on July 1st. Or July 31st, sorry. Don't get too excited. July 31st. They're going to be holding it at a venue in Florida, I believe.
Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando. And we're going to go ahead and bring Gio in now to join us in this conversation because we know he's a basketball fan and he's a Celtics fan and a Larry Bird fan. So let's bring Gio in. What is up, man? We can't hear you.
He never saw Larry.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you guys doing?
Pretty good. We were just talking about Larry Bird.
Oh yeah, the greatest three-point shooter ever. Should have had 4 rings, but three's better than 0.
Should have had 4. What do you mean? Should have had 4?
He should have had 4 rings if he didn't get injured. No, if he didn't get injured so early, he probably should have had a 4th. I don't know. I feel like those bad boy Pistons got away with a lot.
They would have beaten them eventually though. But yeah, you're definitely right. If he hadn't got hurt, and also too to remember, I don't know if you guys know about this, but the Celtics got the number 1 pick in '88, I think it was, and got Len Bias, who is the top college player in the country.
One of the most tragic stories ever, man.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a 30 about that as well. But if they would have had him and that big man, they would have won a couple more titles for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Gio, you got to check out this Magic and Bird documentary, man. If you're a I mean, you are a Celtics fan, so it changed my whole perspective on Larry Bird for sure. Because I already knew most about Magic, but it just you got to check it out.
Definitely will. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got you here for the Snyder Cut discussion for sure, of course. But we know you're a basketball fan, so we just found out basically today that it's official. The NBA is going to be returning on July 31st, and so 22 teams are coming back. I believe there's more on the West. There's 9 on the East,
13 on the West.
The rest are on the West, and they're all. There's going to be a play. They're going to play for the 8th seed basically on each conference, as far as I know. So, what do you got? How do you guys feel about this?
It's interesting.
I'm glad they came up with a plan. I was a little bit worried for a while that they weren't going to be able to figure this out, but it's the best they could do. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about 13 teams in the West
than not return.
Right. For sure. And this is going to be interesting. Obviously, the top seeds are going to have something to play for. You know, they got to get their basketball legs back, and you just don't come out of a pandemic and weeks without playing and then just expect to be running at full speed. I don't think they've decided yet exactly how to give the top seeds some benefit, because obviously they're not going to have home court advantage. Some things that were mentioned included a hotel of their choice, giving them the possessions, the starting the quarters, each quarter, second, third, fourth, with them having the possession, the ball, so more possessions.
Smart.
Or more coaches' challenges, and it'll be interesting to see exactly what they decide to do.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm happy they have a plan. I'm excited to see it coming back, and a lot of people are saying maybe this is NBA's way of getting Zion, forcing Zion into the conversation. Because
no, that's true.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think that's definitely the case.
Well, because they're losing they lost a lot of TV revenue just from all the games that were canceled, and they got to find a way to make it up,
Sure.
Adam Silver has said time and time again they want to do a 7-game series from the first round all the way up until the finals, and so that's a lot of basketball between July 31st, including the 8 games, till October. But
mid-October.
Yeah, I'm just like you guys. I'm just as excited. I can't wait to see how this is all going to unfold.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm so stoked. This has made me appreciate sports more than ever. Just not being able to have them. You never appreciate what you have till it's gone, and it's the truth. I miss sports, so I am super stoked for that. Can you imagine that first night that the NBA is back? It's gonna be like an event. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be either very impressive or very wrong. It could go one of two ways, much like the NFL draft. Because there won't be fans at these games.
That's true.
Yeah.
How are they gonna?
Awkward and weird.
Yeah. How are they gonna? Are we gonna get the hair to players mic'd up? Is there gonna be a TV delay? Because players get emotional.
We're gonna be able to hear them, and we're gonna be able to. The refs are gonna be able to hear everything too.
Well, they do that anyway. They do that now with it's on like 5 or 7 second delays or whatever because of that. Because microphones do, even with crowds, you'll pick up, some language.
Man, those guys, whoever has to do that, block it out or whatever, they must be fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's teams of them. You ever seen those control rooms, man? It's you got the guys out in the truck outside the stadium, and then they got the control rooms with the networks. And yeah, there's teams of guys doing that, but people doing that. But yeah, well, I think they're gonna pump in. They'll probably in stadium like crowd noise. I know that's one thing I keep keep hearing television effect, because that's another. NFL does that. NFL stadiums do that. They pump in crowd noise in addition to the actual.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Especially the Colts in Indianapolis, that indoor place, it's already loud in there, and then they pump in additional crowd noise to give their team an advantage.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, which it's hard to hear in those huddles and stuff. So, they do that. So they're going to do that. But it'll be just like watching a game. You ever watch one of those? I don't know, those smaller. Like we'll go to ESPNU. You'll watch those smaller college basketball games.
Oh, it's very quiet. Like you can. We're gonna hear the sneaker screech noise so much.
It'll be like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just gonna be sneakers and whistles. That's what we're gonna hear.
I really thought that. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And you'll hear the full boom, boom, bouncing the ball throughout the entire place. But I'm surprised. I was thinking that they would let small groups of fans in and distance them, because I know baseball was talking about that, but I guess not. I guess
no, because you have to think that's more money for testing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I totally get it.
I mean, at least they get some of that TV revenue back.
Yeah. And fully, our Kings are going to get in there, thankfully, or mine, Ty, you and Jacob, your dumb Lakers.
Well, can we talk about that real quick?
Well, the Kings have a chance, and your Wizards have a chance, right?
Wizards too. I was shocked to see that. Oh wow, the Wizards in there. Maybe John will come back. Yeah.
So the way the standings are now,
teams, Keith.
But listen, I grew up literally watching them both even amount of time in my life, both. So.
No, it's okay. I'm the one. I usually actually am okay with people having multiple teams. But what were you saying, Gio, about the seeding?
The cities where I'm from. That's why I give myself a pass.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because from what I read, if the 8th seed is not ahead of the 9th seed by 4 games, then the 8th and 9th seed have a playoff.
Single elimination playoff or something like that.
No, I believe it's double elimination.
I think it's double for the 8th seed and single for the 9th, right? Something like that.
Right. So the 8th seed would have to lose twice in that playoff against the 9th seed. Or if the 8th seed wins once, then they're in.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
kind of like I'd be kind of pissed if I was an 8th seed.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair.
Yeah, but it is fair to those teams that were just on the cusp of making it.
Right. That's what I'm saying, and that's what just meant. Kings and Blazers, and they're Memphis, they're off, and New Orleans. We're talking about the Pelicans.
It would be cool if the Kings get in because that's our hometown, but it sucks. The one year they get in, if they did get in, the one year they get in, we can't go to the games.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because look, under normal circumstances, if the Kings made the playoffs, I'm going to that first round game. I don't care how much it costs.
Yeah, Kings in the playoffs. It's. I don't know if you guys were here at the time, but it's a lot of fun. It's real different energy in the city when the Kings.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, you got Memphis and then Portland 3 games back, New Orleans, Sacramento 4 games back, San Antonio 5 games, and Phoenix 6 games back.
NBA freaking Ja Morant's on the Grizzlies, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They just want a rookie of the year showdown for the playoff spot. The last playoff spot. That's what they do. So
really well right before everything happened.
Who is losing to the Lakers in the finals? Quick question.
It depends on who they're playing on 2K, because that's.
Damn.
They're not getting past the Clippers. Clippers will beat them, I think.
I don't think so.
No?
Dude, LeBron is so hungry.
He is.
Yeah, the one thing about
pull it off, but
the one thing about the Lakers, they have a lot of size this season.
Well, yeah,
you got Braun Davis, you got Dwight Howard playing insane. Like he looks 5 years younger.
The problem though with them is that it was happening throughout the season, or right up until everything ended. But when LeBron goes to the bench, like their offense just stalls. Like they just don't really, even with Anthony Davis out there, like they don't really get a whole lot going on offensively. And their defense is quite suspect. Anthony Davis was doing pretty well. He was definitely in running for Defensive Player of the Year, but outside of him, like they were not very good defensively at all.
We'll see. They're definitely not perfect. It's going to be fun. I'm just glad the season's returning because if let's say they cancel the season, that means LeBron's getting another year older. Anthony Davis' contract is up. Does that mean he can just become a free agent now? That
free agency, sure.
But if they just cancel the season, then what if he leaves? He never got a chance.
Anthony Davis did decline earlier in the year. The 4-year max offer that the Lakers offered.
Oh, I think he wants to be a free agent.
Well, no, I mean it's that, but there's also the 5-year extension where he can make a lot more. So I think a lot of people saw that coming. But how about the Clippers? They signed Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to a 2+ player option 3rd year. Like if this season got canceled, they're probably the biggest losers because now they only have 1 guaranteed year with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
Yeah, so overall it's good that it's returning, but let's get to the main topic of today's show. We are talking the Snyder Cut. Maybe this might be the last time we're talking Snyder Cut. All right, Gio?
No.
The last time we're talking Snyder Cut until the movie comes out.
Wouldn't that be nice?
My point is, I thought it would be cool to talk about what we actually want to see in the movie because we've discussed beat it into the ground about the announcement and what it means, but what do we want to see specifically in the movie? And Gio, I'll let you take this one first, man.
I mean, let's start with the characters that we were supposed to see, if not supposed to see more of. Martian Manhunter, which there was a lot of speculation for years that Harry Lennox, who plays the General in Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, was secretly Martian Manhunter. I mean, that casting makes so much sense. It's so perfect. And then you got Darkseid, the big baddie, who is supposed to make an appearance in the movie that was supposed to lead up to the Justice League movies afterwards. Even the guy playing Darkseid, Ray Porter, I believe his name is, teasing that, I was supposed to be in the Justice League movie, the original cut, the Snyder Cut. And then you have Deathstroke, who made a little after credits, if you want to count that. But the whole tease of an action sequence where he breaks Lex Luthor out of prison. I mean, that was being compared to Batman's warehouse scene. And can you imagine, after that, the planned movie between those two, Deathstroke and Batman? I mean, we'll just start off with that. I just want to see the characters that were supposed to be in the movie. Hal Jordan's Green Lantern, a lot of speculation there.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome, man. I mean, we heard a lot of things leading up to it, and you could tell there's things missing when you watch that movie. So Keith, man, I know you're not the most passionate about the Snyder Cut, but we're getting it. So what do you want to see from this new version?
Well, if they're, I know that they were talking about, and it seemed a little shoehorned in, but what they were going to do with Superman and making him a little bit more, lighter, a little more, more of the Superman we're kind of used to. Not necessarily Christopher Reeve, but just the world being more accepting of Superman, and more I guess you could say appreciative, not appreciative, but just I mean, like just hey, Superman's here, he's going to save us, that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I mean both movies treat him like he's
we hate him. What is he?
Terrorist or something? Like,
yeah. It's just I like to see, and certainly from not just this, but just going forward, period. And hopefully, if Cavill remains on, definitely would like to see a more. Let's get Superman right, please.
Well, like no, that was the plan. If you remember, at the end of Batman v Superman, they're all crying over the loss of Superman. Like, he's finally been accepted by humanity
now they see him as a hero after he's
and that was
after they spent 2 movies talking about how much they hate him.
Do they really hate him in Man of Steel? I don't. They barely know that he
exists. A debate of like whether he's bad or good, not bad or good, but whether he's bad for our planet or good for our planet,
right?
Those type of things, and that's one of the things I love about Man of Steel and Batman v Superman is like the news reports and how the real world is dealing with Superman and all the events going on. I love that stuff, and I mean, the main thing I do want to see from Justice League is the Superman character completely redone from what it was done in the original version, theatrical version of Justice League. We know kind of what we're going to get. We're probably going to get the black suit. I would assume
we're definitely getting the black suit.
It's going to be awesome.
That is,
I don't want this thing where Superman comes out and the Justice League are fighting him. I don't want that like they did in the movie. So I want the more and more I think about this, I think it's going to be almost a completely different movie. Like just.
Oh, it is going to be a completely different movie for sure.
This is what I want. I don't want Steppenwolf in the movie at all. Like the actor who they got to voice him was great for the voice, but I just either redo his CGI or whatever, or do motion capture or whatever, or get him out of there somehow.
That's the plan.
Make him not the main villain. Make Darkseid the main villain, and Steppenwolf is just kind of this sidekick or whatever. And I want Batman. I want Bruce Wayne and Batman more consistent with the BVS version than the Justice League version. They changed the character in that movie, and not only do they have the cheesy trying to be funny one lines, I don't not like you, those type of things. They just kind of he doesn't seem the same. Like in BVS, he's driven, he's passionate, like he's got this mission and he's so dedicated to it. And then it just doesn't, he's kind of just like not in it. And maybe that's Ben Affleck's losing some of his passion for the character since then. But I don't know. I definitely want to see the Batman character reworked. One of the best things from the theatrical Justice League version was that flashback battle scene. Can we get more of that, please? Can we get an extended version of that? That would be pretty awesome. I don't want Lois Lane involved in the battle scenes. I hate when the mortal character is just like running around while all the battles are going on, because I'm like, you're gonna die. So just get out of there. Yeah. And I hope the opening of the movie isn't like a song montage like the original cut was. So those are some of the things that I want changed.
Well, yeah, going off of Ben Affleck's Batman, I don't think we'll get the exact same Batman from BVS, because I mean a lot of
the exact same, but I want that character, like how Zack Snyder saw it was going to have him be in Justice League, basically.
Right. I would have to imagine it's a lighter tone, but still the same, core of who Ben Affleck's Batman is. He's an aged vigilante Cape Crusader who's been doing it for a long time. And you can clearly see in the theatrical version that they try to make him more funny, I guess.
Well, those were definitely some of the rewrites.
Yeah, for sure. And they said in the initial reports for Justice League that Cyborg was supposed to be the heart of the movie. I think the biggest thing that I want is this movie to open the doors for solo films, for sequels like Man of Steel 2 or Man of Tomorrow, a Cyborg solo movie. Get people excited for a Flash movie again, and potentially, well, could be a Flashpoint where the Atlanteans and the Amazonians are, facing off against each other. I think that'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I don't know about the see, Gio. You're doing it. You're doing the thing that look. Solo. Forget about the solo movies of this character, that character, that character. That's how we got this trouble in the first place. Okay. Let's just make this movie good. See what happens. Because remember, they're gonna do Flashpoint. We still don't even know what they're gonna
do with
where all this is going. Yeah,
which is interesting because they're gonna release the Snyder cut. That's obviously gonna have Ezra Miller in it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And who knows? Yeah, with him, who knows what's gonna happen? But yeah, I just want just make this one good, watchable.
I agree.
Average.
I think it will be. I think it will be. I think it's going to be a overall general positivity around it.
I think so. It should be. You're going to get a lot of Zack Snyder slow motion stuff. But just he's like we talked about it on Nerd Nation. He's got the benefit of hindsight certainly. I think he's got hopefully a good grasp on what he wants, and they're giving him. Seems like they're giving him the free reign to do. To execute his vision as best he can, and so yeah, I think I'm actually the more like I said at first I was like I don't care about this, but now I'm actually the more we kind of think about it, the more stuff comes out about it. I'm like, all right, let's see. Let's see what you got, man.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys heard, but the guy I don't know his name, but he's a higher up in Warner Brothers, and he's actually in charge of HBO Max. He said that he
way more than
only cost $30 million.
Yeah.
So that would probably going to be like 70, 80 million, to be honest. And if they're putting that much money into it, to me, they're really letting him make his movie.
I'm telling you. As which leads to, and Gio, you're right. Maybe they will do some actual principal photography.
I think they will.
Just with the actors, they might actually reshoot some stuff. Yeah,
I think they will, because by the time it doesn't come out till 2021. So
right.
I think movies are starting to shoot soon. They were going to. I don't know if they are right now, but relatively soon movies will be able to shoot. So they'll have time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, because we still don't know when. It just said 2021. It could be late 2021 for all we know, right? I mean, we don't even.
I'd rather them take their time with it and get it right, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Are we going to see the beard, or no? Are they going to be at least going to reshoot all Superman stuff?
They should.
I think so. I don't see why not.
There's been versions of him with a beard. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just do that. I don't know, but
leave it on, leave the mustache on.
There's I have a lot of questions why they did this and that.
Because Superman was dead, right? So his mustache was growing while he was in the coffin.
He had the beard in Man of Steel. He had the begin when he was rescuing
in the
guys
beginning on the oil rig. Yeah,
man. So I don't even know why it was whatever. No big deal. But
to your point, Keith, I think we're gonna get a much better executed transition of the Superman character transformation into that Superman that we all know and love. I don't know. I have to imagine that he fights the Justice League because that was shot by Snyder himself. So,
was that scene?
That was, yeah. So maybe you get him in a black suit fighting, or maybe he shows up at the end in the black suit. Yeah, no, that wouldn't make sense. He fights them in a black suit because he's just gonna rise and coincidentally have the black suit on. I don't see that happening.
The same way, like because he's in his the suit is in that ship, and he's in that ship. You know, when they revive him. So I mean, it's possible. So I don't know.
Yeah, possibly, but by far, Cyborg. I want to see more of what was shot already regarding him, and
someone playing football. Remember the trailer? He's playing football.
Yep, he's playing football.
He's a football player. Like that's the whole.
With his family, figuring out that his powers are not a curse and actually a gift, as they kind of talked about in the theatrical version. But
yeah,
we'll see. They're putting a lot of money into it, and for me, that's a good sign. If you're going to do this thing, don't do it. Don't half-ass it or go cheap.
I'm curious about that. Wasn't that football game? Wasn't between Gotham whatever versus Metropolis University, Gotham University, or
in Batman v Superman? It was Gotham and Metropolis.
I thought it was this. Okay.
Yeah, the ultimate cut.
Okay.
Oh, I also got to mention Junkie XL's score.
So he's coming back for this, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He
a new score.
Well, the score that was already made before Whedon brought in Danny Elfman, and just decided to go nostalgic, which worked for a time, but it's the same. It's the same argument why people say, why do we get another Batman origin and Batman v Superman? We've already seen it. Well, why are you including the same scores? We've already heard it.
I agree.
Yeah, the cool thing is that now people love Jason Momoa as Aquaman, and because we've had his solo movie, it made over $1 billion. It, bona fide hit right there. And I don't know if they're going to shoot new scenes or not, but just the positivity around that character can only be a good thing. And Wonder Woman 84 is hopefully going to come out before this. I mean, it's still coming out in August, which that is so exciting. That's an exciting thought. So I think the DC properties are in a different place than they were when this movie came out. So we'll see how it goes, man. I just want them. Look, I want them to handle Superman right. That's my main concern.
Same here, man.
There's his Cyborg, which is a legitimate concern because this is the only nobody knows who Cyborg is, like just general audiences, and that's the one character where you got to give him a little bit more love there in the movie.
No, I agree, and I think fans are going to be very happy for where this Superman is going, as long as it's executed better. Because trust me, they got what they asked for in the theatrical version, but it just wasn't executed right. I mean, I believe in truth, but I'm also a fan of justice. I'm just like, oh God, really?
That's definitely those forced lines for sure.
Yeah.
Well, any last thoughts, guys, on the Snyder cut and what we want to see?
No, I'm looking forward to it. Whether it's a 4-hour cut or a 6-chapter miniseries, I don't.
4 hours. Oh man, I don't know about that.
This is not The Irishman, because this is superheroes. We actually are entertained by that stuff, and not
just after
old guys
just pause it,
talking,
turn it off, and the next day watch another hour, and then it's a miniseries.
You're gonna get superheroes talking. You're gonna get 4 hours of Ezra Miller going, well, I don't know what to do. Just run here and put come on.
Most of that was Whedon.
Him as
you're right.
So another thing real quick. If you guys have never seen Doom Patrol, so Cyborg is in Doom Patrol.
Yeah, I saw it. It's on HBO Max. I want to watch that.
Character in Doom Patrol is great, amazing. Look, Snyder, the Justice League version of Cyborg didn't get a fair chance, right? So I'm not gonna. Ray Fisher is great, and Ray Fisher is probably a better actor than the guy on Doom Patrol, but the guy on Doom Patrol is great as well. The guy in the Doom Patrol version of Cyborg is the best Cyborg I've ever seen. Just best iteration of Cyborg I've ever seen. Like animated, anything. So
Cool.
I definitely recommend checking that out. Cool, man. Well, Gio, here's your chance, man. Tell the world how you feel. Let it all out. Snyder cut. Go.
So we've been waiting for this cut for years now, and I still can't get over the fact that it's happening. I think a lot of people feel the same way. This is not just monumental for the comic book genre, but for filmmakers who have their visions, their art robbed from them, whether it's before the film starts shooting or during or after. And hopefully this leads to more filmmaker friendly movies in the genre where they get to make their film and not have to be victims of studios overreaction to a tweet, a Facebook post, or a Rotten Tomatoes score. So I'm going to keep celebrating. I'm going to keep talking about the Snyder Cut as much as I can, anywhere I can. And I'm looking forward to this. There's great things coming for the DCEU.
Awesome, man. I really hope so. I know we joke about who's a bigger DC fan, but it doesn't matter. We all love the DC properties. They are the most iconic superheroes of all time, just throughout history. So I just want them to get it right. Like, you have Superman, he is the superhero. Batman is arguably the most popular fictional character of all time. I mean, there's an argument to be made for that. So and Wonder Woman is just they're arguably the top 3 most popular superheroes in history. So they need to get them right, in my opinion. And they have the characters themselves for the most part. They have, but they just need to. It's Justice League. Come on, Justice League was way more popular and well known than Avengers before they made the MCU. It was, and now it's completely flipped, and because of these movies. So we'll see. I'm rooting for it.
We have decades and decades and decades of stories to choose from. Pick one good one, stick with it, translate it to the screen as best you can. Especially, like I said, with Superman. Like, there's so many great Superman stories to tell. Like, it shouldn't be this hard, but
I know. And look, I want to see a Justice League too. But I don't necessarily maybe leave Batman out of it because we know Ben Affleck's not coming back. Not that I want Batman there. He's not.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Affleck, look, I would be the happiest person on earth if Ben Affleck came back as Batman, but it's not going to happen.
Oh man, this is deja vu.
I'm not talking about to reshoot scenes for the Snyder Cut.
Months ago, you said
about officially come back and play Batman in another movie.
Months ago, you said the Snyder Cut should be happening. It's what'd you say? I can't remember. We were sitting in Brian's house. I think you were to my right, and you said something about the Snyder Cut. And
it wasn't now.
No, I said I want to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I said they're not going to put the money into it. But here's the thing: I was talking about theatrical release.
Yeah,
I don't know.
HBO Max changed everything.
The world wasn't stuck at home either at the time.
AT&T is a different beast. I'm telling you, they're teasing the hell out of it, and they got money. They bought Warner
Ben
Brothers.
Affleck does not want to come back and play the character. He's dealing with too much. Bro, have you seen him talk about it? He's dealing with too much personally.
What do you guys are talking like it's last summer or even before way back was in theaters. No,
he did an interview where he talked about how it was like one of the lowest points of his life. Like, not just because of Batman, but just in general with everything he was dealing with himself, with his family, with everything he's going through. On top of that, being dealing with this turmoil with this character in these movies, and then all the stuff he was getting, all the negative from fans, on negativity from fans and stuff. Like he doesn't want to go through any of that again. I mean,
You guys are revisiting the past too much. You need to look at the reality.
What recent past? That
he said this.
Recent past, as in what? When did Justice League come out? 2 years ago.
I'm talking about an interview he did.
He said this stuff recently.
Yes, and
I just watched an interview where he was talking about characters that he played.
The interview happened
Batman
a month ago, but he's talking about from 2 years ago.
Yeah, but he's saying that's how he feels now still.
No. Oh, okay.
He's talking about where he's come from.
Watch the interview.
Tell that to Anya de Armas. Yeah, he's still in a bad place. Give me a break.
It's not about that. He doesn't want to go back to play the character. He may be in a good place, but he's doesn't want to deal with that.
So let me ask you both. He would not come back for Snyder.
He'll do reshoots. He'll do reshoots for the Snyder Cut.
Hey, I win.
No, you don't.
Yes.
Gio, I've been saying this whole time.
Okay.
I just said I'm not talking about reshoots for the Snyder.
Okay. So it's impossible for him to have a good time shooting the stuff with Snyder that all of a sudden he likes the way things are going here. I'm not too young. I'm only 48, 49 years old. I could do one movie or maybe two and finish out this character arc that Snyder and I talked about. That you're saying that's impossible?
You're assuming Warner Brothers wants him. Maybe they don't.
It's not Warner Brothers. It's AT&T. It's not Warner Brothers. I'm telling you, AT&T bought Warner Brothers.
Okay, the studio is Warner Brothers still.
Zack Snyder
and Warner Brothers still has a president and
is not directing another DC movie after.
That's like saying Marvel's still a studio, but they're owned by Disney.
Yeah, they are, but Kevin Feige makes the decisions. It's not Bob. No, like the suits aren't decided. They're not casting.
You're telling me Kevin Feige makes decisions and does not have to run it by Bob Iger?
No, that's why you delegate that. There's people that run Marvel and Lucasfilm and ESPN and ABC.
Like, if Kevin Feige decided tomorrow to fire Chris Hemsworth, he wouldn't have to run that by Bob Iger, who's the one who has to deal with the investors.
Chris Hemsworth. Well, why would he fire Chris Hemsworth? I'm
talking theoretically.
Well, that's theory, Gio. Like that's not. Well, first of all, that would be a director decision, right? That would start with your director, your filmmaker, your director, because you're going to be undercutting that person. And your producers and your executive producers. That would have to go through all those people first. And then if it's going to go all the way up to the head of the studio, which these issues like this rarely do. Didn't you watch Entourage?
It's your franchise. It's your franchise star, as far as I'm concerned.
If they weren't already making another Batman movie, then I would say maybe, but it's not.
Right.
It's not going to happen. And I'm not saying I don't want it, but my point was that I think if the Snyder Cut is successful, I'd said this, that it bodes well for a Justice League 2, but a Justice League 2 with maybe Henry Cavill back as Superman, but a Justice League 2 with Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, Superman, Cyborg, and Green Lantern. That's what I think. And maybe Flash. We'll see.
And Batman.
No, I don't think Batman. Unless Robert Pattinson is the young Ben Affleck, and then he time travels. But that's getting crazy.
No, that's very possible. Flashpoint.
It is. If somehow Flashpoint brings young Bruce Wayne to modern day, hey, I'd be cool with that.
And then all of a sudden, the Batman movie is no longer just a Batman movie. It's Batman Beyond. And Ben Affleck's in that mentor role.
Mentoring his younger self?
Why not?
Maybe. Look, I would love it if he came back as Batman. He's my favorite Batman ever.
But he's great.
I'm just saying, don't be so sure to just throw it out the window. Okay, hang on to that.
I mean, I would say it's just my opinion, but the man himself says he doesn't want to.
That was months ago, and he was talking about a time that happened 2 years ago. Okay, this is a different regime. Okay,
Yeah.
this is AT&T. This is Zack Snyder. This is Dwayne Johnson. This is a new era in DC.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Hey, Black Adam could be in Justice League 2 too. As well.
He very well could be. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Gio. That was fun, man. You got my blood boiling a little bit there. That's the conversation we wanted to have.
It took us a while, but once we got into it,
we had to. I feel like anytime we talk Snyder Cut, we got to bring you on, or any DC topic, or I guess any DC EU topic.
Bring me back when the first trailer releases.
Absolutely. We'll Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Later, guys.
Talk to you later. All righty. There we go. Man, he knows how to get me going, man. Well, yeah, so basically today, just to wrap up the show real quick, I don't think we're going to do literature recommendations again, unless you had something. Did you?
I'll make it fast.
Go ahead. Book, I asked Brian if he wanted to talk about that on Bartley and Barnes, but he said he wasn't that far yet. So have you started it?
All right, we'll save it. I haven't read it. My daughter's breezed through it in like 2 days or whatever. So you haven't read it yet though? No, not yet.
So I actually was considering audiobooking it. So are you gonna read it?
I was planning on it, yeah.
Okay, if you're gonna read it, then maybe I will. And look, Turn the Page doesn't have to be a recommendation segment. It could just be us discussing the book too. It's just literature topics. So maybe start the book, and next episode we'll discuss however far we get.
Yeah. Okay. Get Brian on. Yeah.
So we do have one more thing. I do have an assignment to assign you to. Thank you for Courtship of Rivals. That was just a gift. I loved it. But I have a question. Have you seen The Gentleman?
The Gentleman?
The Guy Ritchie movie, The Gentleman.
Oh, Guy Ritchie movie? No.
All right. That is your assignment. And it's probably going to cost you $4.99, but I promise you it's worth it.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. You bring it up, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to watch that.
Yeah, Scott watched it. Your buddy Scott from the Panic at the Costco.
Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah. Oh, I haven't even. Oh, he did. Yeah, he emailed us. I didn't even look at that.
Okay. He loved it. So there you go, man. That's your assignment, The Gentleman.
Sweet. All right, I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode of Bartley and Bars, man. This is so much fun. Just I love talking sports, movies, it's just a blast. Any last thoughts, man, for the day?
No, that's it. Everyone stay safe. Be kind to each other. And support everyone. That's I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I echo those statements. Just look, we're all human beings. Just treat each other kindly. Just do that, and we'll make it through all of this. So thank you everybody for watching, and for Keith Barnes, Jacob Bartley, this is Bartley and Barnes. We will see you all in a couple weeks.